This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Welcome to Asher and Torah Anytime. We're up to Perek Chaf Aleph, which has here three different prophecies. Masas, as they're called, burdens. Very ambiguous, very unclear. A lot of different metaphors over here. And we don't know much about what they're referring to. And this is all part of the, part of the journey of learning Yeshayahu. The prophet Isaiah is that you learn many things which you have no idea what it's referring to, but obviously it was important enough to make it in, so there's a message for us. And I think the message is that we can apply these metaphors to whichever part in our lives we think is necessary to hear it. So Masa Midbar Yam, this is a prophecy of the western wilderness. Kisufos Banegev Lachloif, like these massive storms that sweeps the flat. It comes from a terrible land. So it's not referring to rainstorms, it's talking about like windstorms or sandstorms. So this is a metaphor for the enemy that's coming from afar. And again, in our lives, sometimes we have like an impending doom. There's a sandstorm coming. Now, the way how I understand what's the concept of a sandstorm, a rainstorm has something beneficial to it. When there's a rainstorm coming, there's rain. Rain has epis and nekuda toiv in it. A sandstorm is just going to... It's just here to mess you up. So the prophet says, a harsh vision was told to me. The traitor betrays and the plunderer plunders. Ali Elam Tsuri Modai Kol Anchoso Hishbati. All its sighing is going to stop. So, according to a lot of the Mefarshim, it's talking about Babylon, and Bavel's sighs are going to stop, meaning it's going to be put out of business. But what I took out of this Haboiged Boiged Vashoydet Shoydet, it refers to, like the Mishnah says, he saw Afurog Gugoilus Tzafal Amoyim, he saw the skull floating on the water, and he said, Allah Taift, he said, because you drowned others, you drowned. And those that drowned you will drown as well. So that's the concept of Haboiged Boiged Vashoydet Shoydet. Those that are Boiged, are Boiged. We're mamshech on ourselves, our own operating system of how we deal with the world. And unfortunately, those, you drowned others, therefore you drown, and then it gets transferred over, the bad energy gets transferred over, that those that drowned you will drown as well. It's describing the story of bad energy, that bad energy gets transferred over. It's like, almost like this generational trauma, that because of what happened to your parents, gets transferred over to you, and then you end up doing it to your children. Therefore, my innards are filled with trembling. It's like a woman giving the pains of childbirth. I'm twisting from what I'm hearing. I'm frightened from what I'm seeing is going to unfold. My heart is bewildered. The terror has frightened me. Now, it seems like there was like a party going on. The evening of my desire made me turn into anxiety. Orech HaShulchan, and this is a very interesting pasuk. Orech HaShulchan literally means that he set the table for a party. Tzofei HaTzofes, and suddenly the watchman who's watching, Ochel Shosoi, they're eating and drinking, but suddenly he calls out, Kumu Asarim! Officers up! Mishchu Mogen! Smooth the shield! It's like, he's describing how there's a party going on. Maybe it's a victory party, or maybe it's a party running away from the impending doom, like in the Titanic, when the music was playing as they went down. And then suddenly, the guy who's on guard yells, Officers up! And everybody goes and takes all the magazines for their gun, and they're running out to the battlefield, and it gets disrupted. That's the vision that he's seeing of how the impending doom is that living the lie of the boygate, of boygate, the result is that suddenly you find yourself in this huge crisis. You're partying, and then suddenly you're like, whoa! Because this is what the Lord says, go post the lookout. That which he sees he's going to tell. And again the Mefarshim are busy that might be a metaphor for the Nevi'im, that they're the Mitzapa, and that which he sees he tells you. And he's going to see chariots coming, Rechev Chamoy, Rechev Gomol, V'hikshev Keshev, V'rav Koshev. And he's going to listen very attentively. This is like this, he explained it to me type of a story. I mean, he's going to grow ears. You know, I told you this story many times. I love the story of Shlomo Freifeld. That was this Bocher who came into Shlomo Freifeld, and he was missing one day in Yeshiva. And Shlomo Freifeld asked him, he said, we missed you yesterday. And this Talmud heard, where were you? And he said some type of a lie, where he was the other day. And Shlomo didn't answer. Like 2 years later, the guy became a yeshiva bocher, and he connected to the message. And he was in camp somewhere, and they were walking, and he asked, Shlomo suddenly turns to him and he says, like, how do you talk to the yeshiva that way? Like, what's up with this lie? I don't remember the details, but like, what's up with this lie that you just, and he was like, what? And he remembered, oh my gosh, 2 years ago, 2 years ago, he remembered back the story that he told him 2 years ago he lied to him and he told him the whole thing. And he was like, Yeshiva, why did you wait until now to tell this to me? This happened 2 years ago. So he said, then you had no ears. By now you've grown ears. So that's the concept that the Navi says over here, where he says, V'hikshev keshev rav koshev. He says you're gonna listen very attentively. By the time you're going to, get the message, you're gonna get the message. You're gonna listen. Vayikra adi al mitzveh, and a lion is gonna roar. And then he sees. The metaphor of here is he's going to see a lion. He's going to see all different types of animals. All of Babylon fell. That means Babylon is going to be like a threshing floor. It's going to be like a pile of grain. It's going to be totally destroyed. And that's going to be the end of Babylon, the end of the sandstorm. And then after we finish this Masa, he goes on to the next one, which is Masa Duma. So nobody's sure exactly what Duma is. It seems to be something that has to do with a Seir. Masa Duma Elai Koirem Seir.
Nothing Masa.
Masa is a burden. It's like a situation that's going to come upon them. A Masa. Or a prophecy. Masa Duma Elai Koirem Seir. I mean, Seir refers to how to say it is Edom. Shomer Mami Laila, Shomer Mami Leil. He says, what's going to happen with the night? People are going to sleep at night asking, Mami Leil. What's going to be what's the next bad news? Amar Shomer, Asa Boiker, V'gam Laila. Im Tivoyum Boyu, Shuvu Esoyum. So this is a famous pasuk already. Oime Shomer, Asa Boiker, he says, the morning comes and also the night. If you ask, come again. So Omar Shomer Asa Boiker, that means the Shomer says the morning's going to come, the night's going to come, but Hashem controls everything. Im Tivoyu Boyu. If you're going to ask, Shuva Esoyu, come again. That means there's nothing new yet. But if you want, you can come ask again.
Is this messages to the land of Seir, of Edom? or this is message for the Yidden that are living inside?
So again, it's so ambiguous that it's open for any interpretation. This, the Gemara learns in Baba Kama, Tavoyim Boyu. That's how you learn Shen and Mava. Masa Ba'arav. So here's the third Masa, which is Ba'arav Arabia. Bayar Ba'arav, the forest of Arabia. Yar Ba'arav Tolinu Oichos the Donim. You're going to have caravans. Now this story already does refer to something Chazal talk about, that the Arabs, they're our cousins. And when people are wanderers or they're fugitives and they're refugees, it's normal to take them in and to be hospitable, especially if they're your cousins. But what they did is when the Jews were running away, they gave them these salty fish to eat, and then they gave them these pouches of water. They thought it was water. When they opened it up and they gave it to them in their mouths, the hot air went in, and together with the hot salt, made them die from thirst. So it says, you offered them water, right? You came with this noided, with these flasks of air, and that's how you caused them to die. They were running from the sword. And when people are running from the sword, you should have greeted them. They were running away from a cherev, that's why they were coming. And you had no compassion on them. And you caused them to die. All of Kedar is going to be destroyed. Usha'ar mispar Keshas Giboyle b'nei Kedar yimotu ki Hashem Elokei Yisrael dibeir. And the few remaining archers from Kedar will diminish. And that's going to be the end of those that, this is going to be the end of all of these three nations, that whatever you end up doing to others, you end up doing to yourself. But we'll say it. Right. Correct.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.